Interesting.
I essentially have like a sales management as a service. I'm trying to figure out how to productize it a bit more and develop a system so that I can deliver it and essentially hire someone to help me with the delivery. And then also beginning to create content that's a little bit like, should I focus completely B2B or should I put out like general sales education and what I should focus on as far as content goes? And then also like how much of a percentage I should make as far as like educational versus just like being myself and like just like sharing other things that have nothing to do with that on content. Cause I'm pretty much V1, like 0 on the content side of things.
My approach personally, so before I started Founder OS, I randomly just found myself like just as like a kind of side gig hobby, I don't know, like just helping entrepreneurs I knew and was like doing one-to-one stuff with them. And what I started doing was anytime I was working with them, I had like a Google sheet that basically was like their name, you know, their company, and then like the date of the session. And then what was the stuff that we went over and like they were asking me about. And I kind of like documented this, let's say for like 8 weeks back in Napkin. And from all that documentation, I was then able to look back when I was thinking of creating Founder OS. And I was like, okay, I want to create these like systems for founders. And then I'm looking at like the people that are paying me $2,000 an hour. Like, what are they paying me for? And like, what are they asking for help with? And inevitably I started seeing the commonalities and things that I actually wanted to help people with, right? Someone's like, oh, I want to learn how to get rid of my co-founder and raise my next round. I'm like, that's like, just, I don't care about that stuff, right? But then someone's asking maybe about audience growth or creating content or marketing stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, like I enjoy this. I like jamming around this stuff, right? And I can see there's a common pattern around that. So I'm starting to kind of like use like what these people are bubbling up to me to then go, okay, I'm going to like use that as some data to morph into a more scalable offering. So that's one part of just figuring out what would even be in a scalable offering. Now, I think the second aspect is also thinking about, I mean, there's a lot of different scalable offerings, right? There's, you know, Productize agency could be scalable. SaaS product could be scalable. Digital products, like there's a lot of different business models that could be scalable. Memberships, paid communities, the list goes on. And so it's also knowing like, okay, which of those business models do you like? So for me, after studying like 600 different businesses, figuring out like what was the next thing I was going to go build, I found this one business, pretty funny enough. And I was like, fuck, that's a good business. And I would really enjoy it. And as I started learning about it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful, right? It was like, it was scalable, highly profitable, enjoyable. I could tell the founders were having fun. They wanted to do it for a long, long time. It was just like all the things. Like it was easy to start, cash flowing. It was built around their joy in life and things about it. So I was like, I'm just going to go build that around founder systems. And that's what Founder OS is. Like at least the genesis of it was that. And now it's evolved a lot since that like original thing. But it was the combination of like even people on like X and LinkedIn, like the stuff that's resonating with them. So I'm getting some signal from people in terms of like, these are the things. And then I'm like putting my bet on a business model. Like, okay, this idea of like a community with like some course aspect to it. And then maybe an in-person aspect, like that sounds cool over time, right? And so now I just need to kind of launch a V1 of that. And that was Soulful Entrepreneur back in the day, like 3 years ago, where I just ran like a couple cohort courses like around that just to understand, okay, I think this is what people want to know from me. But who knows when I actually deliver it, that's actually what they want. And let's just say I did 4 modules, 1 was shit, 3 were solid. And like I sort of did it again, refined it more, and then launched like V1 of like a scalable like Founder OS offering. So that was like the actual process that like I actually went through. There's a lot of different ways to do this. Figure out the basket of things you want to help people with. Obviously, it's better to probably find signal from people that are paying you and actually putting their money forth versus just maybe like hypothetical signal from anyone online. Like sometimes that's not always good signal. Then the second piece is like, do you have a business model you feel really good about? Right? Or maybe a couple and you could experiment with. And then what's the minimum viable V1 for that thing? So for me, I was like, I'm just literally going to put like 4 decks together. I'm going to put 4 meetings on Zoom together. I'm going to put this out on my X community of like 40,000 people at the time. I got like 40 people in the first one, closed it off. That was it. I hopped on Zoom calls. These people all had invites. I just went through the thing. I gave them all my phone number. They would message me with questions that they had and such. I would learn like, oh shit, they all asked this thing, or they need help with that, or they really enjoyed this thing. After each time I did it, I asked them what was the best part of this and what was the worst part. And at the end of the whole 4 weeks, I said, what did you like the most and what would you cut? And then after going through a couple reps there, I was able to refine like a more scalable FounderOS offering.